Wrap me in your arms, wrap me in your arms, wrap me in your arms, oh God.
Hi, and welcome to the Warmth of God's Love. I'm Pastor Lynette Roberts, and I'm here at LifePointe Christian Faith Center here in Coralville, Iowa. We're talking about the Lord's Prayer. We are on element 4, part 5 of the Lord's Prayer. And this one is going to be talking about your will be done in the Lord's Prayer. Your will or my will? Your will or my will? It says we learn as we try to implement our will in life after we have given our lives to Christ that it does not work very well. That most of the time when we try to implement our will and our plan and what we want to do, we end up being farther away from God than we ever intended to be. Unless we incorporate God into our lives as Christians, as ones who have accepted Jesus Christ into our life and made him Lord over our life, we will go off in a different direction and begin to be farther away from him than we ever intended to be. We have a group of leaders and people that come and talk to us about spiritual and financial leadership. And they talk, the name of their ministry is called 3 Degrees. And they talk about being off by 3 degrees. And if you're off just by 3 degrees, and you stay off by 3 degrees, and you don't make any mid-course corrections, then you will continue to slowly get further and further away from your destiny. And so it's important to recognize that we can no longer make our will the most important thing unless God gave it to you. And what his will is becomes yours. Let's look at Proverbs 23 and 26. It says, "My son, give me your heart, and let your eyes observe my ways." God wants your heart. He wants all of you. He wants your mind. He wants your body. He wants your hands. He wants your feet. He wants your voice. He wants all of you so that the will and the purpose of the Father will be done. And guess what? The closer we get to his will, the faster this process of getting to the new kingdom will happen. And the more we get away from God, the more we will not get to the new kingdom, but we'll have to keep struggling in this one, trying to get through. And so we want to make sure that we are lined up with God's will at all times. Let's go to Galatians. Galatians 2 and 20. It says, "I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me." When we recognize all that Jesus did for us, and we reread that process in which he had to go through in order to get us redeemed, in order to get us back into a right relationship with God, in order for us to walk in that grace that we walk in right now, it makes us realize that my little dreams don't compare to the dreams of God. As a matter of fact, they're probably much smaller than his. And he has more of an expectation of you and more of a belief in you than you have of yourself. Most of the times our dreams are small compared to God's. And when God gets ready to use you, it's going to explode. And you're going to see that dream and you're going to go, wow, there's no way I could do that. And he says, exactly. But I can. And so we have to learn how to let our will fall to the wayside and allow his will to become preeminent in our life. So let's read the devotional. Let's see what God will say to you and how He will move forward in your life. And I believe you're going to see bigger dreams.